guys, we have come to the end of my trilogy of book hauls, and we are here with the third and final chapter, which is books that I got gifted. And by that I mean, when I left my last job, some of my friends and colleagues gathered together and got me a book token, which was amazing. So I purchased some books in Waterstones with that card. I also had a gift card that I got from Christmas from work as well, that I could use in Waterstones as well, so I did a bit of shopping in there. And also the books that I purchased off of Vinted, which I've been using a lot of late. I will say though, one of those books has yet to arrive. Actually it's two. It's Gio, I don't know how to pronounce it, by Junji Ito, and Uzukami. Is that the other book? Basically it's those two bind up editions of those works by Junji Ito, so hopefully they come soon. Fingers crossed. Hi, just cutting in to say that those two books did come. We've got Uzumaki and Gio. Gio says, the floating smell of death hangs over the island. What is it? A strange-legged fish appears on the scene. So begins Tadashi and Kaori's spiral into the horror and stench of the sea. Here is the creepiest masterpiece of horror manga ever. Breath until all is revealed. Then this one says, Kurizucho, a small fog-bound town on the coast of Japan, is cursed. According to Tsuchi Saito, the withdrawn boyfriend of teenager Kiri Goshima, their town is haunted not by a person or by a pattern. Uzumaki, the spiral, the hypnotic secret shape of the world. Oh, that's creepy. This bizarre masterpiece of horror manga is now available in a single volume. Fall into a whirlpool of terror. I've been wanting to read this particular one for years, I think. So yeah, I'm so happy that I got these two. Oh, even the spines are creepy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being freaked out by this. Anyway, let's continue on with the books that I got. So I got a collection of manga. This is Assassination Classroom by Yusei Matsue. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I got volumes 1 through to 3. And I think I got this whole stack for like £5, so I'm super happy. I'm kind of hesitant at purchasing manga, even though I do enjoy reading it, because it's so expensive. And I understand, like, obviously having all this illustration and stuff and all this artwork embedded within makes it like it's a lot to print. But yeah, I'm glad that I managed to get these for like less than one volume would be. I think usually they're like £7.99 or so, £6.99. So yeah, let's see. So from what I understand with this series is, I believe an alien comes to Earth and he wants to destroy it and take over and everything like that. But he lands in this classroom or whatever, and I believe he gives the children a chance to save themselves. It sounded, if that's correct, it sounded quite fun and quirky, and I've been wanting to read it for a while. I also want to check out the anime adaptation. So yeah, first 3 volumes were definitely, or should be definitely, enough to get me like knowing if I'm interested to continue or not. And by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is, I don't know if it's the second or third book, but basically I've read The Poet X by this author, and in a minute you'll see that I purchased another book by this author, and this one is written in like verse like The Poet X, and it's about these two half sisters that are brought together. You learn straight away that basically one of the sisters doesn't know the other one exists. I think that is, I'm pretty sure the other one does know, and the dad was kind of living this double life. But unfortunately, on his way travelling back to his other daughter that lives in the Dominican Republic, his plane crashes and he dies. So I think it's how they kind of find out about each other in that aftermath, and it sounds like it's going to be an amazing read. So yeah, it's set in Dominican Republic and New York City. Like £3 or so. Then for £1, I realise it's £1 on the back as well, I got one of the Penguin Little Black Classics, and this is the Suffragette, and it is what it says on the tin. It's just about the suffragettes movement. It's got some pictures in here, small little text, just one of those little bite-sized things to get you started on researching and such. So this last one that I got off of Vinted actually came as a 3, but I said I'd already owned and read the first book, so I asked if I could have just the 2 last book bundle, and it's a trilogy, and it's the sequels to The Vine Witch by Luana G. Smith. So I have The Glamourist and I have The Conjurer, and these were really cheap as well. I think I got these for like £7 or £9 together, which is really awesome. The first book is about, it's kind of set in like what I imagine it to be as like a sort of French inspired like, I don't even know, like medieval century, I guess. Not medieval, but is it 17th century? I don't really know. But anyway, the interesting thing that kind of piqued my intrigue, at least, I was just licking my leg, that really tickled, is the witchcraft around this is about a particular wine. They kind of brew certain things, and that's like where their magic lies. It's really interesting, and there's a whole, obviously, like plot development and stuff like that. And anyway, I got given the first book as a gift, must have been last year, and I really enjoyed it, so I've been wanting to get the other books too, so hopefully I enjoy these ones just as much, if not more. Okay, so before I go on to the books that I purchased with my gift cards and Waterstones, I recently came home to a lovely surprise. I had won a giveaway. So Kat from Kat's Reading Corner was hosting a giveaway of a book. Well, you could choose if you wanted the first book or the second book, and I hadn't read either of them, so obviously I opted for the first book, and I won, which is exciting. So I believe the author sent this directly to me, which is cool, and that book is Dark Oak by Jacob Sannox. I don't know if I pronounced his surname correctly, so I do apologise if not. And to my surprise, it was signed as well, so that was really lovely. So this is book 1. I don't know what the series is called, or if it's a duology. I think it might be a duology, but yeah, it says, "Dear Jen, don't turn your back on the trees." Interesting. I hope you enjoy, and then signed. So this says, "Humanity has finally defeated the Dark Lord, but Morik fought on the wrong side. Though he was a slave, he is branded a traitor and must earn the trust of new lords in order to return to his family, if they are still alive. Now that their common sense now that their common enemy is dead, the nobles begin to forget old loyalties, and Queen Catherine's realm looks set to plunge into war once more. But there are older and more terrible powers dwelling within the forest, and when they are awakened, Morik will decide who lives or who dies." So yeah, I'm really excited to get to this one. I hope I love it. I believe it's independently published as well. Maybe wrong there, but I know Kat's quite a good advocate for indie press and stuff like that, so supporting like independent authors. So yeah, very excited, super happy I won. Looking forward to cracking into this one. Okay, now for the books that I got from Waterstones. Just gonna randomly pick them out here. So one that I was super excited to get is the 4th volume of Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I'm so excited for the Netflix TV show to come out soon. I'm really looking forward to it. And I heard that there's only one more volume after this, which I'm really sad about, but I've been loving these graphic novels. So they're about 2 boys, Nick and Charlie. One is openly gay and one isn't, and it's about them kind of growing this blossoming friendship into a romance and kind of just growing up. It's like a coming of age story, and there are some difficult topics in it that is discussed and kind of sheds light on those a little bit more, but it's such a wholesome, beautiful story. So yeah, I'll be excited to get back into this world, and as I say, I'm very excited for the TV show to come out. I hope it does it justice. I believe Alice Oseman is actually like involved in the directing and producing and stuff like that, so it should be a good one if she's involved too. Next up, I have Ta-Nehisi Coates' Between the World and Me. So I've been wanting to pick this up for ages. I believe he has written kind of like an open letter to his nephew about what it's like growing up black in America, and kind of the struggles he'll have to face, and just kind of cluing him up to how life may be for him. So yeah, it just says, "The story of race in America is a brutally simple one written on flesh. It's the story of the black body exploited through slavery and segregation, and today still disproportionately threatened, locked up and killed in the streets. What is it like to inhabit a black body and find a way to live within it? And how can America reckon with its fraught racial history. Between the World and Me is an attempt to answer those questions, presented in the form of a letter to his adolescent son. To his son, not his nephew, I do apologise. Coates shares the story of his awakening to the truth about his place in the world through a series of revelatory, why can't I say that, experiences from Howard University to Civil War battlefields, from the south side of Chicago to Paris, from his childhood home to the living rooms of mothers whose children's lives were taken as American plunder. Beautifully woven from personal narrative, reimagined history, and Between the World and Me illuminates the past, confronts the present, and offers a transcendent vision for a way forward. I said I got another Elizabeth Acevedo book, and this one I thought was going to be in verse as well, but it's not. It's like traditional kind of writing. I never know what that's called. I also got a couple of bookmarks, which is exciting. It's for Sally Rooney's new book, Beautiful World, Where Are You? So yeah, I got With the Fire on High, which I believe is about a young mother who is still trying to complete her high school education, I believe, and has this love for cooking. So yeah, I'll be interested to see where this goes, and interested to see how I find this author's writing style when it's not like in poetry. Oh, this one I've been trying to get for ages. I couldn't find it online at all, like last year or whatever, and then I finally saw a copy in the shop and I was like, okay, finally I can give this a read. And that is Wesley Lowry's They Can't Kill Us All and the Story of Black Lives Matter. So this is a story of the birth of a movement from the award-winning journalist who reported at the heart of it. Based on over a year of on-the-ground reporting, it is an unprecedented portrait of the reality of police violence and endemic racism in America and those trying to combat it. So yeah, it's another kind of non-fiction where it just kind of goes into race, and a lot of them are focused in America. I need to find some more that are more like British based, because obviously like I'd like to know more about my own, you know, history and that. But yes, I finally have this in my grasp. So my friend actually purchased this as well, and I saw another friend had, I think she'd already read this on Instagram, so I just kind of gravitated towards it when they were kind of raving about it. Well, when I went to the shop, Alice was saying that she was interested in it, and it just seemed like a self-help book for adults that actually seems relatable, you know, and that is Women Don't Owe You Pretty by Florence Given. I've recently followed this individual on Instagram as well, and absolutely amazing. So the game-changing book that every woman needs. Women Don't Owe You Pretty is the ultimate book for anyone who wants to challenge the outdated narratives supplied to us by the patriarchy. It will teach you how to protect your energy, tell you that you are the love of your own life, and that today is a wonderful day to dump them. Florence Given is here to remind you that you owe men nothing, least of all pretty. So yeah, it's got conversations on, let me just get to the contents and I can tell you what the information is. Feminism, stop scrolling in the morning, protect your energy, stop putting people on a pedestal, accountability, checking your privilege, like a lot of stuff's in here. So I'm hoping to get a nice read from that, kind of feel a bit validated in some things about, you know, how much of yourself to give and when you should hold back, you know what I mean. Two books from this author who recently came out with a work of fiction, so yeah, that's one of the books that I got, spoiler alert. His debut, and it's non-fiction, and this is Akala's Natives, Race and Class in the Ruins of Empire. And yeah, again, this is something I heard talked about a lot, and I thought it'd be very interesting to have this to add to my knowledge and just reading other people's experiences. And this says, from the first time he was stopped and searched as a child to the day he realised his mum was white, to his first encounters with racist teachers, race and class have shaped Akala's life and outlook. In Natives, he takes his own experiences with education, the police, identity and everything in between, and uses them to look at the social, historical and political factors that have left us where we are today. And following up from that, as I mentioned, he came out with a fiction story, and that is called The Dark Lady. Absolutely stunning cover on this one. I'll read you just the back bit, because sometimes I feel like when I look in the overflap, it gives away too much, but actually it's not a lot of information there. But anyway, it says a pickpocket with an exceptional gift, a prisoner of extraordinary value, an orphan haunted by dreams of the mysterious dark lady. Sounds intriguing. Let's remove the cover and see what's underneath. I really like that. Oh wow, stunning. And it's like bright orange end papers. Wow, that is such a contrast to like the cover here, isn't it? That's nice. So yeah, I'm in my head, even though there's no particular way to read it, I'll probably, it makes sense to me to pick up the non-fiction first and then kind of get an appreciation of like the topics that he appreciates and talks about and discusses, and maybe pick up on some of those topics in a more like fantasy based story. And then the last book I picked up was Tiffany D. Jackson's Grown. I feel like I've heard a mixed kind of reviews for this one, but I am interested. I feel like I've also heard that people have said it's kind of inspired by the events of, you know, that whole big scandal with R. Kelly and like the underage girls and all that sort of stuff. I think it's like that. So from what I understand, this young woman is in the music industry and she's trying to make her name big and kind of get out there, and I think she's taken advantage of by someone who's supposed to be considered like her mentor and help her along in the music industry. And I don't know whether that's like sexually or like plagiarism of work or anything like that, or just a whole other onslaught. So we'll find out. But I think there's also an underlying plot of a death, like something happens that ties this to the character, and I'm probably explaining that super wrong, but I also want to go into it not knowing an awful lot, and that's kind of what I've been led to believe this is about. So that is it. That concludes my trilogy of book hauls, and that concludes this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books, any of the books that I've picked up, not just in this video and previous videos, and what you thought about them. Perhaps kind of give me a nudge in what I should be prioritizing first, and yeah, I shall speak to you in another video soon. Bye. Thanks for watching.
I've been watching you.